This is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the somewhat very abstract game, Senshi. Senshi is an abstract game with a ton of player interaction. Basically, in the game on your turn, you are doing one of three things, and I'm going to mention one thing that you're doing during the game and one thing I really like about the end of the game here. During the game, you are either studying, you're taking a stack of these three plastic tokens. You are training, which means that you are taking one of those tokens and booking it, saving it so you can actually score it at the end of the game. Or, and when you do, and this is probably my favorite mechanism in the game, or this is actually the test mechanism. You are taking means that you're actually taking a token from another player. The test is when you look at all the colors on your stacks and you choose one of those colors and take all of the top tokens that match that color. So for example, if I have a stack that has a red token on top, another stack that has a red token on top, and a stack that has a blue token on top, I might choose to say, okay, red, and I would take off both of those red tokens and save them so I can score them at the end of the game. They would go into a red stack off my little mat here. However, at the same time that I do that, other players, every other player who has red tokens on the top of their stacks also gets to remove those tokens from their stack and save it so that they can score those points. So this is really, really cool because it means that I am constantly trying to align my stacks so that I can potentially use that action to take off three tokens, to gain three tokens to score for the end of the game at a time where few to no other opponents can also gain that same color from their stacks. So there's a ton of interaction, both in terms of how I'm actually taking tokens from other players, but also the timing and how much I have to pay attention to other players and to determine when I'm going to test so that I can score. Let's get to scoring because that's my other favorite mechanism in this game. It has a mechanism that I really like in a number of games, which is there is a condition in this game where you cannot win. And that condition is if you, here's like my end game stacks. If you have the lowest stack of all players of any color, you are not eligible to win. So for example, in our game, one of the players had a stack that was only one token high. And as you can see here, it's a little hard to see, but these stacks are each 2 tokens high. I think these are each 7 tokens high. Because that player had the lowest stack at the table, a 1 token stack, they were eliminated from the game. Even though that player might have had the tallest stack, which is the win condition. You want to have the tallest stack of one color. And so I really, really like this balance that the game says, okay, you need to spread out. You need to have a balance of colors here. You can't just focus on one color. You need to pay attention to that. But at the same time, you need to have one stack that's better than the other players. I think that's really, really clever. I love it when games have little mechanisms like that. I have a video about it, about those kind of end game conditions that you have to meet if you are going to be eligible to win. And this is the case in Senshi. Really cool game. If you've played it and you have a different favorite mechanism or the same one that you want to talk about in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Or if you can think of any other games that have similar mechanisms about timing, where you have to pay attention to other players, or about these types of conditions where you can't win unless you have met a certain condition as compared to other players, I'd love to hear about that in the comments below as well. Thanks.